Hey guys, welcome to the Rubin Report. According to the metadata, I'm Dave Rubin, and I've got Jenn Hoffman and Shawn Hollenbach with me. And let's get right to it. Okay, the NSA scandal continues, and depending on what channel you're watching, this is either the most horrific overreach of government ever, or they're protecting us and our civil liberties are not at jeopardy. I want to start though with Fox News. They just are an endless cacophony of hilarity. Shawn Hannity, here is some compilation of what Shawn Hannity thought about the NSA and spying and that sort of thing when Bush was president. That's George W. Bush. And here's what he thinks about it now that Obama's president. So take a look, and then we're going to break it down.
Is it right to say that, for example, on issues involving national security, be it the NSA surveillance program, the data mining program, the Patriot Act, Guantanamo Bay, that Democrats are weak on issues involving national security? And our techniques are working. We've got the NSA program here. We've got the Patriot Act program here. You know, in light of this, how close this was, it's staggering to me that we're even debating the use of these techniques in this country, even at this time. Big Brother is monitoring your every move, whether it be online or on the telephone. Let's talk about why this story, why is this important to you? Number one, this is America, and as law-abiding American citizens, you have a right to privacy. Number two, these actions by the Obama administration are a clear, very clear violation of the Fourth Amendment, which prohibits unreasonable search and seizure. Number three, the Constitution. It is our rule of law. If we do not respect and honor the Constitution, then anarchy and tyranny will there follow.
Okay, so that is exactly why I wanted to do this show and why I started this whole thing, because the media is actually worse than the government. He loved it when it was for Bush. He hates it now that Obama's doing the exact same thing. Is this just like the height of hypocrisy? And can we expect anything better?
Well, it's Hannity.
So he's
like the most eye-rolling, ridiculous character now. He's surpassed O'Reilly. Like, at least O'Reilly usually will retain some semblance of, you know, this is what I'm saying, and I stick with it. If he changes his mind, he says it changes his mind.
Yeah.
Hannity's out of his mind and just will go with whatever he thinks, you know, the most right faction or whatever the market research people at Fox tell him. And I think at the time when Bush was president, they were just like, no, you know, 9/11 just happened and Patriot Act, and we have to support George Bush. And then, you know, they did their market research, which was just Googling, do you hate Obama? And people checked the yes box for whoever watches Fox. And they were like, oh, now this is the worst thing that's ever happened. So we expect it. It's stupid. It's obvious. But the problem is, it's not obvious to the viewers of Fox.
So speaking of the viewers, do you think when the regular viewers, the people that have been watching this guy, and it's millions and millions of people that are watching a night, do you think that the regular viewer that digs this guy is going, wait a minute, I know that he didn't believe that a couple of years ago, or they just don't care?
Well, my dad's missing teeth and doesn't care, so I don't think, he doesn't do any research at all.
He doesn't care about anything.
He doesn't care, and but he'll believe whatever they say. And
so your dad's a big Fox News guy.
Oh yeah, he's big, that's all he watches is Fox News.
Right.
Love you, Dad, but you're an idiot. But
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, happy Father's Day, Earl.
Yeah.
But what I think is so funny is that Hannity is sort of the bizarro liberal. Whatever the liberals think, he thinks the exact opposite, just to please their audience base.
Yeah.
It's like, I hate the way Obama chews. We should stop chewing.
Stop
chewing. I don't know.
Right.
It's just Obama could do anything and they'll just say it's wrong.
Yeah. Do you guys? I'm
He looks weird.
so on this idea that this is actually worse now because of the media than because of the government. Because I feel like no one ever trusts the government, really. But like, if we can't even trust the media, and look, MSNBC is almost as bad on the left as Fox is on the right.
CNN in the middle just getting it wrong no matter what.
Right. CNN,
there are llamas falling from the sky.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Making stuff up to get ratings. Yeah, I mean,
which they don't get, ironically.
Yeah, of course.
That's the funny part. I mean, Fox is crushing them all together, and MSNBC is in the middle, and CNN's getting slaughtered. But if we can't trust that we're going to ever turn, who do you trust? Who do you trust in the media?
I trust you.
I trust
the Rubin Report.
Okay,
No,
thank you. Good answer.
I think you just have to do your own independent research. And first of all, news skews a little bit older.
Yeah.
It skews to people that depend on the television news, that depend on their news anchors, and that believe that these people are telling them the truth. People that were brought up to believe that when you were listening to a news program, like your father, my mother's similar. My mother's almost 70 years old. She watches Fox News, and what they say is gospel to her because she believes these are the authorities telling her the truth.
Yeah.
I think younger generation understands that that there's companies that own these people. There's people like Rupert Murdoch, there's corporations, there's advertising dollars, there's all these different reasons why certain large media entities have reasons to kind of skew a story a certain way or make a story bigger. And then I think, younger people kind of just turn to the internet more, and not that that's always more helpful. There's a lot of bullshit on the internet.
Are you saying not everything on the internet is true?
Everything on the internet is absolutely true.
Yeah.
But I think they're holding on to an older audience, and I think that's what it is. And I think older people tend to believe what they're told from an authority because that's kind of just the way you were raised when you were.
Because they're closer to death and judgment.
So now you have to believe it. Now you're just taught that when you were younger. You didn't really question authority as much. Of course, some people did, but I think it speaks to why your father and my mother and another generation of people will watch Fox News because they're like, nope, whatever you say is true.
Yeah.
I just wonder what happened to Gideon Yago.
Gideon Yago. I believe it was Yago.
Was it Yago? I trust him.
Now he was MTV
News.
I trusted Kurt Loder.
Talking head. Kurt
Wow,
Loder was
you're really
pretty
going
great.
back.
Loder was very, very. That
What
shows
about
I'm
Suchin
old.
Pak?
Yeah, but is there really? Wait, I don't even know who that is.
She was also
She's on the news now on something. I can't remember where, like CNN or something. Yeah.
I'm gonna Google her when I get home.
But is there someone in the news, really? I mean, thank you, I know it's me. But besides me, is there someone in the news that you watch and actually feel like this person is like intellectually honest and really
I kind of think Anderson
Me
Cooper is.
too. I was the one who said me too.
Me too. Even though he's on CNN, which has like so much just like the most random reporting of early reporting, just bullshit, like whatever they're like, just say it first, say it happened, call the election,
We'll
call
figure it out
whatever.
later.
Yeah, exactly. For some reason, Anderson Cooper has this hold, I feel like, on a lot of people I know where we're like, we trust Coops, and I don't know why.
It's just his hair.
so
It's just
dreamy.
the hair and it's the hair and that perfect skin.
I know.
And the dreaminess.
Yeah, I want to marry him.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chip. But I also like Lisa Ling, who I think is a really honest reporter, and I feel like she tells the full story.
Yeah.
And she's very trustworthy because her sister was kidnapped.
So that's what I was just going to say. I feel like she's only trustworthy because everyone was like, well, her sister was kidnapped. Everyone's like, we trust her because she looked very emotional. And when Oprah had her on and they were like, we saved your sister, and Lisa Ling had the one tear, and then they booked her for every show for the rest of her life, I'm kind of like, Lisa Ling, I don't trust you. I think you're. No, I think she's only famous because they kidnapped her sister. She's only.
She was also.
She was on The View.
The View.
Wasn't she?
She was also on. In high school, they had this TV channel, and she was one of the
so was I.
anchors.
And I didn't know the hell I was talking about. Yeah.
You were?
Yes.
I didn't do my research.
I don't know. I didn't know what you guys are talking about. You guys were anchors on a high school TV show?
Oh, you mean the big closed circuit one that went everywhere or whatever? That didn't exist. How did that exist when she was? Isn't she older than me? This is getting weird.
All right, we're getting sidetracked here. All right, so final thing on this is, should we, when I was looking at this story, like I really wanted to do this because I think it's important that people really see it side by side, like the one opinion and the other opinion, and really just show it to everybody so they see the bullshit. But do you guys ever think that we should just not cover stories like this because it's like, I have a policy on this show and on Twitter I don't talk about the Kardashians because I think that's how you take the power away. Should we be doing that kind of thing when it comes to something like Hannity and just let it be ignored and be free? You have to call it out?
Of course, because it's so blatant and so obvious and so ridiculous, and even though it's preaching to the choir, because I'm sure a lot of people that watch you and are going to be watching things on YouTube aren't necessarily a Fox News viewer, it's so blatant. It's like grossly blatant. Like
they need to know about it.
Those clips side by side are just so outrageously blatant and gross, and just show you what that news channel's all about that you're like, how can you not show it?
So final thought, as an artist and someone that puts out, comedy and your thoughts on things, do you think there's ever a moment that you've had where you've put out something that you said one way and then truly just absolutely said the other thing? You know what I mean?
Just to get a retweet?
Just to get
Yes.
Yes. Well, to get a retweet, we all want the retweet. All right, there you go.
After the retweet.
He wants we all want the retweet. Retweet this, like this, thumbs up it, whatever. Okay, let's go. Let's keep going on this NSA thing because this is kind of getting crazy. So the NSA is building right now I believe it costs $1.7 billion facility in Bluffdale, Utah, which is 25 miles away from Salt Lake City. That's going to host it's going to house a 100,000 square foot data center where they're going to be monitoring us. There it is. It looks very much like a moon base or something from Star Wars. Those, what you're seeing right there, are just the cooling things to keep the computers cool because they are sucking that much data, and data is hot, I guess. And do you mind that your tax money is going to this type of thing to report and record and watch you at all times?
Well, I'm kind of glad they put it in Utah to really monitor our natural resources like Mormons and saltwater. So that's really good that they did it there.
Yeah.
But I don't mind. Even when the Bush administration was sort of watching us, I think, going back to the Fox News thing, I think the people who are being monitored aren't Fox News watchers. There are people who are calling internationally. I know it's not ideal, but I feel like if they can stop another attack, I think, to me, I feel a little safer.
Interesting, but even though that now they're saying that it's not just international calls, now that they have the metadata for all of us, and then keywords and all that, so that doesn't bother you?
Well, I know I'm really interesting, so I'm just glad I can provide.
To listen to you.
Yeah,
I want the audience.
I'm like, is anyone else on this phone call? I need someone else to be listening, please.
It's like the ultimate meaty performer. Like, is anyone getting these jokes?
Them. He's like bomb, assassination, just saying any word he can in any conversation, just to make sure the NSA
like, I need
listening.
another TV credit. I want to be taken into some jail, taken into Guantanamo.
Yes. Now I sense slight sarcasm there, but Jen, I mean, what do you think? Like, we're building giant facilities.
Right.
No, there's no oversight. The government's just pouring money into all this stuff.
It terrifies. First of all, I'm like, it's one of those things like we've arrived in the future, and it's freaking scary. Like, it's kind of terrifying even to look at the facility, to look at what you're saying, like the cooling stuff, just for all that data that they're processing. The fact that they need an entire section just to cool down how much stuff of ours that they're going through is really terrifying. And I understand that people are saying, well, what if it saves lives? What if it prevents another 9/11? But it terrifies me that it's kind of the wild, wild west on this. They haven't really said, this is how we're going to do it. This is the only people we're going to listen to. I mean, then you can't profile people. It's too confusing. So I just don't understand how you can have the right to just say, hey, we're the government elected by you, but now we're going to spy on you, even though most people, if you ask them, and I think your opinion's interesting, because some people are like, if it keeps us safer, that's fine. Most people are like, hell no, I don't want you spying on me. And I don't believe in that, well, if you're doing nothing wrong, then it shouldn't matter, because so what? Like, why should they have access to everything you do on the internet and your phone just because they're the government? That's fucking scary.
I actually think that's the weakest argument against it, because and you could be doing nothing wrong and just sending emails, work emails where you say something mean about someone you work with, which is perfectly legal, or you could be watching porn that's perfectly legal, but you don't want the government to be like, oh, well, we know this about you, and we're going to tell all your friends how much porn you watch.
Well, they could use it against you in other arenas. It's kind of just like how basic traffic stops work, how just like in basic just law enforcement, cops will, if they decide they want to pull somebody over, they'll look for the slightest little thing in order to get in to try to get somebody for something else. And they're saying, well, that person was doing something wrong, like a taillight is out, or they weaved once, so maybe they can be pulled over on suspicion of drunk driving. But if the person's sober, they're still kind of being harassed because they wanted to racially profile, or they wanted to, for some reason, pull a person over, so they're looking for the smallest thing. I feel like that's the slippery slope that happens when they start listening to your conversations and monitoring your emails.
Yeah, isn't the other problem, though, that, Obama keeps saying, well, or everyone keeps saying that this isn't all getting up to Obama. It's dealt with in mid-level whatever. So, but isn't that where all the abuse is going to take place? Like the Cincinnati IRS guys, like, I don't believe Obama was, at the lunch table in the Cincinnati IRS office going, let's do this. But like, it never gets up to the highest.
Well, now you could target people.
Yeah.
You could target people. You can be like, okay, well, my sister's having a problem with her, ex-husband. So let's target him and look for some keywords and haul him in. Like, it's just, I want to know who's overseeing it and what control they have and what power they have, because you can start hauling people in for all sorts of reasons for saying things just based on this, there's like Patriot Act on wild, basically.
Right. So as the guy that wants safety, since you want safety more than privacy, do you think that we can trust the gatekeepers.
Well,
Who are the gatekeepers? That's the problem.
Think about how much data they're collecting, and then how many analysts are going to go look for minutia that has nothing. Like, you're not going to find if Steve, my brother-in-law, is cheating on my sister. I can't call it. Hey, Michael at the NSA, can you just do a quick favor for me? Can you see if Steve is cheating on my sister?
What if you work at the NSA and you decide to abuse that power or use it to get people in trouble for other things? Like, I didn't mean it like, oh, I'm pissed off at somebody, so I'm going to call my hookup at the NSA and be like, get on them, start monitoring them. But if you work there, kind of like you're talking about Cincinnati, you can start to abuse things if you're mid-level. It's like, obviously, if you're so high profile, you can't really abuse or else it's obvious. But if you're just working there, you can kind of monitor whoever you want.
So, for example, this guy, Edward Snowden, who released all these documents to The Guardian, he's a mid-level contractor. This guy doesn't even have the highest levels of access, and he still was able to release all this. Doesn't that thing look like
the Death Star.
it looks like something out of a sci-fi movie where either Neo or Tom Cruise or Will Smith would have to go in and destroy that thing.
I think it's actually where they filmed Austin Powers. I think that's where they did.
No, it really does look like the enemy. It does, exactly what you're saying, though. It does. It's like so postmodern now that we have exactly the thing that in every movie we've been told is the evil empire that they have to go break into to protect us all from the government that's all watching
Wait, one more time with the air conditioning thing. I'm picturing like Luke Skywalker flying in on an X-Wing and he has to shoot right into a little hole to blow up the,
Well, I thought of a really good solution. I think what the NSA has to do is remove all the people that work there who wear eye patches. Because they're the ones that are going to cause the trouble.
The eye patch guy. Because generally they're untrustworthy, the eye patch people.
I'm solving America's problems here.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, and I don't care. They can listen to my phone calls.
Yeah, all of you with eye patches, feel free to comment about Shawn Hollenbach right below.
Thumbs down.
Yeah, thumbs down.
Eye patch guy.
There's a lot of eye patchers on YouTube. All right, one more thing about the internet as long as we're doing this whole NSA thing. So the next thing that seems to be the hot trend now is people want to figure out a way to get offline, to become ungoogleable, and to get some of their anonymity back. And they're saying right now that all our keystrokes are being monitored, all that stuff. I don't want to go into every level of the paranoia stuff. But does this idea appeal to you? And we've talked about it on this show a couple times before, but the idea that people are going to be paying to erase their stuff. Already there are bars that are saying, you're not going to be able to wear Google glasses here, that whole thing. Is this all the future? Would you want to reset and disappear from the internet if you could?
Good piece of advice. If you want to remove yourself off of Google, move to Madagascar. Like, move somewhere where there just isn't a lot going on the internet.
All those crazy animals.
Change your name to Jennifer Smith. Yeah, you got that one.
Close enough with that. Yeah. No, I mean, I actually understand this, especially because, first of all, you can make mistakes when you're younger. There can be things about you on the internet that aren't necessarily true. Things you participate in, whether it's like a television show or pictures of you out at night, those things stay, and then you evolve as a person, and then you go, crap. Yeah. There's this whole me on the internet. So unless you've been super savvy about branding yourself, you can either look all over the place on the internet, or there could be things you simply just don't want on there. I was born with a different last name. So I have a birth certificate and a passport that is a different last name, and now it's legally been changed to Jenn Hoffman. Like, that's my legal name.
Was Hoffman? Was that because of a stage name or?
Oh no, I was. My mother married somebody who adopted me when I was 11 months old, so then changed to that last name. So my dad's last name that I carry now, rather than my mother's maiden name, which was on my birth certificate. I think all the time about changing it back to that, just so when people Google me, nothing comes up, so you can start with a fresh slate, because there's assumptions people make about you. And if you work in any sort of industry and people are booking you, they can be like, great, you were great for this. Oh, but we Googled you and found out that you once worked in entertainment, so that's inappropriate for news. Or if you were news, it was inappropriate for this. Or you were blonde in these pictures, and that confuses us because we like you better brunette. I mean, it's so ridiculous how that stuff really does catch up with you. So yeah, I just want to become ungoogleable is what I'm saying.
So you're down with the ungoogleable blah blah. What about you? Would you do it if you could do it?
No, because I have my SEO wins, search engine optimization wins on my website, and and there's ways to make your website less SEO friendly.
Right.
Yeah, just tag the wrong things,
Right,
link
just
the wrong, link
mislead
and.
people.
Yeah, or now
Right.
the big thing is that there are companies that you can actually pay to bury
Very
all your
service.
search results, so
Yeah.
that everything about you that's really relevant or juicy or whatever is on the 7th page of Google search when they know that nobody ever goes
Yeah, it's hard.
past the
It's
second
hard
page.
because I love Twitter and I'm always on. I tweet, and I emote on Twitter, and I obviously don't care, and I obviously want people to be reading that and interact with people. So part of me is like, no, I don't want to be on Googleable because I love to be able to communicate with people, and I love, especially the strangers. It's better than Facebook, like the interaction you can have with just people out there in the world on Twitter. But then there is another part of me that's like, it's like in real life, like what if you just wanted to disappear?
Right.
Like, there's something mysterious about being able to think that there would be a service that could make you just disappear off the internet. That's kind of like sexy to me, and I'm into it.
Wasn't that, didn't Sandra Bullock do a movie that was, wasn't that someone erased her identity or something, or am I combining a couple
and it
movies?
was on like a little tiny thumb drive, and it took minutes, and it was ping, 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 back in the day, and she was being murdered, I don't know. That's when I lied and said I had a crush on Sandra Bullock, which was not true, because honestly, no one has a crush on Sandra Bullock.
Oh, you were still trying to be
Yeah,
straight.
still trying to be straight at that time. I surprised.
You almost need a jazz hands at that level of a surprise.
Yeah.
Surprise.
But you know what, though? Isn't that funny, though, how things happen so quickly? Like when that movie, The Net, came out with Sandra Bullock, it was supposed to be a futuristic movie. It didn't come out that long ago, maybe 15 years ago, and it already feels
So
a
dated.
thumb drive.
Lawnmower Man.
What would I do?
That movie, the terrible graphics, Lawnmower Man. It's just like virtually killing people through the weird computer world. I think it was before even internet.
Lawnmowers and weird,
Yeah.
like things to go after people. Yeah.
I was at my grandma's house this weekend, and she had a CD that I wanted to take. I don't even have a CD player. My computer doesn't take CDs, and I was like, I still have it, and I'm like, I don't know how would I even get this device to be put onto my computer?
They make great coasters.
But I want the music.
They're so shiny.
On there. Anyway, technology is going fast. If you want to disappear from Google, there are people that you can pay, like in pretty much everything else. And speaking of people you can pay, so the next big trend at the moment is that celebrities are jumping all over Kickstarter and Indiegogo because they don't have enough of your money. They want more, and the studios don't want to fork it over to them, so they want you to fund all their projects. So the big ones people know about is Zach Braff is getting the sequel to Garden State made via Kickstarter, and he got the money. He got it in like a day,
2 seconds,
basically, in about a half a second through one tweet. Veronica Mars is coming back, and it's going to be crowd-funded. And then the new one now is James Franco wants $500,000 to get a couple books that he wrote made into movies. And this seems very bizarre to me because these people have more money than all of us, and they also want to still take our money. We also pay a lot of money to go to their movies and all that stuff. Is this like the height of just Hollywood bullshit? Shawn.
Absolutely.
Is this the worst?
But I feel like when the whole concept of Kickstarter came about, it was such a great idea, and it was cool for these indie artists who needed some way to make their crappy album. So now,
right.
and good ones too. And actually, Logo had its first ever crowdsourced television series called DTLA that aired. That was all crowdsourced, and it didn't. Logo wasn't a part of it until later, but I thought that was interesting.
So it was crowdsourced and then made its way to the network.
Right, which I think is kind of the way it should be, is that it starts out with a bunch of people who don't have a ton of money, they put something together, then someone takes notice, like a small TV channel, and puts on your project. But already being famous, and if you already have over $500,000, you shouldn't ask poor people to submit to your passion projects.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't this just, like the 500,000 also from James Franco seems bonkers because I'm sure the guy has millions of dollars. So like, we're all out there putting our stuff out there and working hard, so why should he have people that have less money than him fund his project? Like, what's the psychological thing going on there?
Mixed feelings on it. First of all, part of it does say to me he probably does have $500,000, that if he really believed in his own project, he could invest in himself the way all of us have invested in ourselves with whatever money and time we have. Like normal people building themselves up. You're like, if I have $10, that's going to go towards my career, my internet, whatever it is that we're doing. But I'm not entirely mad at it. I know when Zach Braff did his, people were rolling their eyes and annoyed, but a lot of people really liked Garden State and studios. If you've ever worked with a studio before, they're really impossible. They're not going to give you final cut. Your vision isn't going to come to fruition. They're going to say, well, we need like a bigger star or a better soundtrack. We want to change what you've written into this, and that.
Yeah.
So I will say the argument for some of these celebrities is that they already have worked with the studios and probably haven't gotten to even show who they really are. To them, to a James Franco or a Zach Braff, they're thinking, well, I've gotten to put out all the stuff, but it's been under, all these people in suits telling me this is who I am in front of people. So a Kickstarter or Indiegogo gives them the opportunity to be like, okay, I'm an artist that people already are familiar with, but here's how I would do it if I were allowed to. If you gave me your money, this would be my vision, rather than the corporate vision we probably see most of the time.
Right, and as artists, you're speaking my language, so why don't we listen to the artist himself, James Franco. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
To all help me adapt these stories. We just need a little bit more help. I'm just asking you for a little more help. I'm putting money into these projects because I believe in them. I believe in these filmmakers, and these stories are very important to me and very personal. I find that this process is very exciting, that this is the best way to make movies, because in this way, the movies we want to make get made in the ways that we want to make them. That the only considerations are how to make the best movies possible.
He's so hot. So dreamy. I love him. Like, you can have my money.
Yeah, and his goals are so lofty, aren't they?
He's so douchey, though.
It's kind of douchey, though. Yeah, and also I think it does go to what you're saying of like when these things started, it was like, let's get water to children in Africa, or let's help cleft palates or something like that.
There were a lot of Kickstarters that were just like that too. That were like, we want to make a cool movie, but studios won't listen to us because they're the man. So fund my movie about, their Garden State-esque movie that just had nothing to do with the celebrity or Zach Braff. There was a lot of that.
Yeah.
Or the artists that need auto-tune. They're like, I'm almost there, I just need auto-tune.
Right, yeah. There was a lot of that. I remember, what was it, Jenny Owens Young or whatever, she couldn't make her second album because her first didn't do as well. I think that it was her. So she funded, her next album on that. So people have funded their own projects that have had semi-fame. I just don't think it was until this Zach Braff, James Franco thing that it's become like a thing.
So on a personal level, would you guys, because I have thought about it, I just generally don't like the idea of asking for people. I like putting stuff out and then hopefully finding like ancillary ways that you make a dime off it. But I can't say that the thought has never crossed my mind to be like, look, I do some good stuff that people seem to enjoy, and if everyone that watched or listened or read my tweets would give me $1 a month, I'd have a lot of money and I could probably do this in a 10 times greater way. But somehow that even feels a little slimy to me. Does that feel like that you're asking when it's like?
I've thought about that too. I've actually, I've had projects where I thought, I could put this on Indiegogo or Kickstarter, and then something about it made me feel strange asking for money. So maybe we need therapy for that, because clearly there's other people that have no problem going and saying, I'm amazing, pay me for it.
Right.
Great idea. Jen and I are going to start a Kickstarter for comedians that need therapy to be able to accept Kickstarter money. Also, I have an idea. I'm going to start a Kickstarter to stop rich people from doing Kickstarters. Shawn, any final thoughts on this?
I don't know. One Kickstarter thing I think is really funny is I saw parents or potential parents put a Kickstarter up to adopt a child. And I'm thinking, if they're starting with the adoption process, then they're going to have a Kickstarter for school clothes. They're going to have a Kickstarter for college.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they were saying, we need help to adopt a child.
God.
And I was like, they're in for a rude awakening.
Yeah.
I think they think that being a parent's really inexpensive.
You're like, if you already don't have the resources, that's a little scary to me.
Yeah.
Do they get funded?
No.
Yeah, I hope that.
I think their aunts and uncles were like, okay, I'll do this once, but this is it, kid. You know?
Social services is sitting outside like,
They ended up getting like $150 and they got an aquarium or something. Okay. All right, let's move on. Let's do a little gay stuff. Haven't done anything gay in a couple of weeks, at least on the show. Jane Lynch, who's I'd say she might be America's top lesbian right now. She's right, Ellen and her are really fighting for the top spot in the lesbian marathon, I guess. She announced that she's getting divorced from her partner of 3 years, and I thought this was interesting because I feel like every gay person feels that they have to be the perfect gay person now in the perfect gay couple? And does a high-profile gay person getting divorced actually hurt the movement for equality? And we got DOMA and Prop 8 that are going to be decided this month by the Supreme Court and all that stuff. Shawn, as a noted homosexual.
Yeah, I think that we should accept gay marriage and gay divorce, because I'm not getting married to my partner for the community. I'm getting married to my partner because I love him and I want to marry him, and I don't think that I should have to be held up to a certain standard just for political reasons.
Right.
You know, I don't think we should be a couple that's like, we're having a terrible time, but we're gonna stay together just because SCOTUS is gonna say something. Yeah, it just doesn't.
Yeah.
Make sense.
Now you actually are getting married.
No jewelry yet.
No, nothing on your
not
fingers.
Yet, not yet.
You're a
You
humble.
put a ring on it, though.
I know.
But yeah, so you feel did you feel any extra pressure to get married? Because I am feeling that a little bit with the gay community too, that people that are in relationships are feeling like they have to make a political statement suddenly and say that they're going to get married.
No, I don't. I felt that's just we're living our life like we're married already.
Right.
We are drinking our Pinot Grigio and watching our DVR and going to sleep and paying $50 a month for a gym membership we never go to and eat ice cream.
Terrible.
I know, we're basically married, so. Yeah. And I think just having our family there to celebrate it is perfect. And my dad is a redneck, but he loves Chip, and he's so excited to go to the wedding. And I'm actually going to be my only sibling that's going to be married, out of 3 other straight siblings. So I am forging ahead for the Hollenbach name.
Yeah, you're really changing the people in rural Pennsylvania. Very
and then
nice.
just go to my Kickstarter for my adoption, if you can, please.
Yeah, Jen, what do you think? Should gay people, as
be
someone
held to a higher standard for that?
Yeah,
I mean, it's just so ridiculous and stupid that anybody would ever even, if you're the type of moron that's going to be like, those gay people got divorced, see, gays can't get married, then like go kill yourself. Actually end it. Kill yourself. Like, you're a nicer person. I'm like, no, please do.
That was actually the best It Gets Better campaign I've ever heard.
No, because here's the thing. I mean, obviously we know that the divorce rate for straight people is pretty high.
Yeah.
So if people are going to be people, they're not always going to get along. Things aren't always going to work out. And it'd be nicer if more people stay together and learn to work out their problems with their partners rather than being like, well, we had a fight or I want to go bang this person, so, let's get divorced. It'd be nicer if straight people and, gay and lesbians all decided to work on their relationships and stay together. But if you don't, you should be able to get out without worrying like that it's going to be politicized or that now you're going to take away the ability for other people to celebrate their love just because like you married a douche, the way single or straight people end up doing too.
Marry douches all the time. Yeah, isn't that the crazy part that, gay people feel this pressure to get married, then they feel this pressure to not get divorced, and it becomes this sort of never-ending cycle when we just want, if it just goes to show, if you just give people equality, they'll act just like everyone else, right?
They're just like us. Us weekly. Gays are just like straight.
They're just like us.
I'm getting gay prenups.
But do you fear at all that like with all the equality, one day when it's just everything's even and a kid can come out and no one will give a shit and a basketball player can come out and it won't matter, do you think that the gays will actually lose something, that there is something special about being different and that's why so much creativity comes out of the gays community?
Bars.
The leather bars will all disappear.
Yeah.
I mean, no, really though, do you think that that's a legit thing, that the community will lose like something special?
I feel like there is sort of an old gay versus new gay. One of your jokes is there were old guys saying that I had to climb a mountain to suck penis, dick. I know. I don't know if I can say it. I don't know if you can say it.
No, you can say dick.
I can say dick.
Sound.
Dick. Okay, got it.
Back in our day, we had to suck dick. Climbing up.
And I feel like that.
Oh no, we had to climb uphill to suck dick. It's an old joke.
We get it. People don't get what the joke meant with the,
Wow.
Right.
But I feel like there's still a subset of people that are saying, I remember when New York was fun and being gay was fun. I think being gay is just as fun now as it ever was. You're still doing the same things. It's not I don't see what the big difference is.
All gay people are different too. Some people that are gay are going to want to live in New York City and party and, you know, suck different dick. And then there's going to be other gay people that are just like, whoa, I want to be in a monogamous relationship. And
I just want that one dick.
Exactly, just one dick or vagina, as it may be. So vagina, that's like saying penis.
Vagina.
Yeah,
Vagina.
What do lesbians refer to the vaginas? Do they say vagina to each other?
I think it's called
Pussy.
a flower.
Pussy? The flower.
A Georgia O'Keeffe.
Yeah. But isn't that concept, though, about the sort of longing for the old days? That's what that Woody Allen movie, Midnight in Paris, was about, that we always think that something before us.
So much more romantic and powerful and better, and it wasn't.
And it just wasn't, right? Like, do you think back on something, some other time and think it was probably better, but there was a lot of bad shit going on, too.
I'm from New York. I romanticize New York and old New York, and I think about walking through the city streets and how beautiful it was, and I don't think about how half the time I was like, I can't get a fucking cab, and I have to take this. I don't think about all the misery that I romanticize past relationships and think about the great things about them when I'm in a current one that's not necessarily as romantic or as special as that one. So we all romanticize the past. We like to do that so we don't have to confront our current situation. We can be like, it was so much better when XYZ.
Yeah.
When there were subway murders. I miss that.
Yeah, exactly. People always forget the bad stuff. There were serial murders out in New York City and
No air conditioning in the subways.
Do we have air conditioning?
No, there's air conditioning now, but there was a time when there wasn't, which I think is crazy.
Just bonkers.
I don't miss that.
All right, well, we've got one more story for you, and I think you guys are going to dig this one. Witches, they're hot right now. There is a Pagan Academy in New York City where they are training Wiccans and witches. I'm being a little glib about this, but it's a real thing that actually probably is legitimate as any other religion out there. And as someone that's trained in the Jedi arts, I really shouldn't be making fun of this. Okay, so it was established, the Wiccan Family Temple Academy of Pagan Studies was established in 2007. And they're teaching Wiccan studies. So this, of course, it lends itself to a lot of jokes. And are they flying around on brooms? And is it like Hogwarts Academy and all that? But do you think just these sort of offshoot random things are as legit as the big three religions that we talk about all the time?
I would say no, not because of the religion itself. I would say because I went to their website and their main font is Comic Sans. So that's why I would say I don't think they're legit based on that reason. I don't go to restaurants if they have Comic Sans.
Comic Sans.
Yeah.
I used to like Comic Sans, and then it became the joke of the font.
Right.
It's the saddest font.
It's just
never
like, oh, I
taken
want to be
very
creative,
seriously.
but I'm not really.
I want to be funny or jokey or stand out. So Comic Sans. No, okay, so here's the thing.
Yes.
So I feel like most girls, not all girls, I know people are going to be in the comment section like, you're a crazy bitch, I was never Wiccan. I feel like a lot of girls go through a phase where you decide to explore witchcraft and be Wiccan.
Yeah.
For me, it happened twice. One time it was like in junior high, and we were like, let's, probably because of The Craft or something
Craft,
like that.
yeah.
Exactly.
Great
You're
movie.
like, let's be dark and evil and we're dark. It's almost like you're weird goth, but you think you're Wiccan. And then another period in college where there were all these indie bookstores that had a lot of Wiccan books, and I would read them, and I was like, this is kind of cool. It's kind of like nature and the elements, and it makes sense, and it seems like a religion that's less, has a stranglehold on what you do and more just kind of harm no one and do what you will, I think is the Wiccan credo. I think
and
that's
you
what
don't
it
have to
is.
sit in a room and stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down.
Yeah, so the idea of harm no one and do what you will isn't harming anyone. That's their credo by nature, is that you don't harm other people, and it's kind of interesting. So I'll say I think a lot of people girls in particular, I don't know about men, go through a Wiccan exploration period when you're a teenager.
Right. Did you ever do anything? Did you try to concoct did you put lizard's eye in a dish?
So newt or whatever was going on, but they do have certain, I think you're interested in it, especially when we were young, when I was in junior high through that phase, we're like, let's cast spells to make this boy like us. Like, it was so innocent and not, we're like, oh, Bobby, he's so cute on the football team. If we all sit here, and it was almost like a seance with a Ouija board. We're like, we'll make him like us. That's really creepy. That's way more creepier than I thought it would come out.
Yeah.
But I think, you go through these different phases where you explore different things, and there's nothing wrong with this academy existing. It's obviously, it's just like there's a lot of religions that make a ton of money, like Scientology that people think are an offshoot, and it's a huge religion. And also just even Catholicism, and the Anglican Church was a spin-off of that. So there's different spin-offs of all different sorts of religions, and just accept that it exists, and people want to be witches is cool.
Yeah, is also part of it though that the other three, the big three religions, we are so inundated with their images. Like if you really, when you watch, they get a new pope, and it's so over the top and crazy, and the outfits and the hat. I mean, the whole thing's so freaking gay and buns and the smoke and the whole, and it's so bonkers. And yet when I read this, so the High Priestess Star Ravenhawk, I'm guessing that's not her given name, she told the Times, if people really knew what we are about, they would know that studying to become a good witch is no different than studying to become a good Catholic. And I bet that probably is true. So maybe none of it's that great. How about that? You know what I mean?
It's kind of all the same.
Yeah.
All the religions.
Yeah, like they're in a witch's hat and the other one's in a big pointy hat. I mean, what's the difference? What, they all have hats.
I know. I don't support anything I can't prove.
So therefore all religions.
All religion to me is, I think it's fun to have and it's fun to have tradition, but I believe in the universe.
Yeah. Do you believe we're here right now? That's pretty much what I believe.
I don't know. I can't prove it.
You're not sure?
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe we're here right now. Do you think we're here right now?
I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, if we're not here
Shit
right
would get real weird.
Yeah,
We're not.
if we're not here right now, then where are we? That would be.
We're in that weird cool down plant in Utah, like really being incubated there. And no, okay. So the Wiccan, back to Wiccan and back to whatever.
Yeah.
I understand. I guess maybe your question is like, are people paying money to go to a church that doesn't exist, or being offered, skills in witchcraft? And is this really BS?
Right. Is any of this more bonkers? Like, really, is there any one that's more bonkers? Like, we all seem to think that Scientology maybe is more bonkers than this one because they're putting Tom Cruise in a steam room with a bunch of guys or whatever.
I think that's offensive. I think all religions are equally as bonkers to me, or equally as interesting, or could have equal meaning to certain people. So, I don't want to crap on people's religions or support them, because for me it's kind of all the same.
Yeah.
But I just feel like, every Wiccan, that's the same thing as being Catholic to me. They're all the same. Like, choose what you will, and if that makes you feel better to believe in it, great. And if not, be a thinking person and maybe think things through and don't just blindly follow religion. And that's
be a thinking person. That's pretty. Do you guys think some of this though has to do with movies? Because I saw a study that in England that like the fifth highest ranked religion really is Jedi. I mean, people in the census put down Jedi. And then if you think about the witch thing, I mean, Harry Potter's pretty popular. The more this stuff pops up in pop culture, like people are going to start believing in really sort of more bonkers things.
Like unicorns.
Like you are the unicorn lover.
Yes, I'm going to make them come to life.
That's your thing. Instead of saying I believe in the universe, you're supposed to say I believe in unicorns.
I know. Can we take that again? Just kidding.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, we've wrapped this whole thing up. So, Shawn, I'm going to let you tell people about your unicorns first. Talk to camera number 2.
Get ready for a new book called Unicorns on Computer Paper, coming out TBD, and follow me at Shawn Hollenbach on Twitter.
Excellent. Jen.
Hi, I am Jenn Hoffman, who wishes I was ungoogleable, but since I'm not, you can follow me on Twitter at Jenn Hoffman, which is JENNHOFFMAN, not the photographer who people think is me on there.
Yeah, forget about that, lady. And I'm Dave Rubin. You can follow me on Twitter at Rubin Report. I hope you're doing that already. And just a little shout out to all you NSA guys out there. We dig what you're doing. And to all you Wiccans. And what else did we cover today? All you
James
Franco. Good luck with that.
James Franco, call me.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.